Hey, I'm Tucan.
And I'm Harry.
We're from Superorganism.
And this is Records in My Life.
You do you, I'll do me. Chilling at the bottom of the sea. Can I say I'm happy she's being a pro. Oh.
Guys, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Tell us what's new and exciting in the Superorganism camp.
We've just started a US tour, so this is the second date here in Vancouver. Sorry, US and Canada, I should say. There's one Canadian show here tonight.
Yeah.
We've got basically a month in North America, so... Yeah.
And that's after a whole summer of doing music festivals around the world. We played in Japan, we played Lollapalooza, we did Splendor in the Grass in Australia even. So yeah, we've been all over the place, man.
And you're going back to Japan, aren't you, for some dates? Or
Yeah.
February or late Jan next year?
Yeah, it's like early next year,
Yeah.
yeah. We're doing like 5 dates. We're going up to Sapporo, which is in Hokkaido in the northern island of Japan that I've never been to, so I'm really excited about that as well.
And a good knowledge of geography. You just
Does.
dropped a
Does.
Japanese
Hey,
province.
It's very good.
Well, it's because, you know, Kim Jong-un kept on firing missiles over Hokkaido, so that's
We
how
all
I
know
know it,
about
you know?
it.
So let's talk a little bit about Superorganism. I mean, it's more of a collective than, you call yourselves more of a collective than a band, but what albums would have brought you guys together?
Katy Perry, Teenage
Dream is a good one, yeah. That's one that we actually often listen to immediately before going on stage.
Yeah,
we'll
definitely.
put it on from just the first song. And, you know, the run of the first 5 songs on that record, from Teenage Dream to Fireworks, is just amazing. It's like the most
So good.
hyping up thing. It's so good. So before you go on stage, it's really perfect. But that's one that we all kind of can agree on, you know. There's a lot of different kind of tastes in the band.
Pet Sounds.
Pet Sounds is definitely one. I mean, you know, how can you be a band that has sound effects and not sight
Right.
sounds,
Like
right?
that, yeah. Weezer's Blue Album. This is we're all like kind of 90s rock fans, so kind of that's a Weezer, yeah, Blue Album and Pinkerton, I guess, as well, would be a big one.
And what's new? What have you discovered something new that you guys are all digging, or whatever? Each one of you?
Tierra Whack World.
That's-
a lot of us
that's
like that. Have you heard of
amazing.
her?
Check that out.
What's her name? Can you say that?
Tierra Whack. So it's like
Yes, I've heard of it, but
15
it-
songs,
yeah.
all a minute long, exactly
Right.
a minute long, and there's a full video of the whole thing as well. It's incredible.
It's really good. It's a really weird, idiosyncratic work of art, I reckon. It's really cool.
And I'm a horrible DJ. I tried DJing recently, and what's a good record to really get people like dancing and stuff?
Daft Punk. Put some Daft Punk
Daft
on.
Punk will often work, yeah. We've actually, until recently, we'd always come off stage to Benny and the Jets. And man, that goes down a treat.
People love it.
As soon as we finish playing. There's something about that, just, you know, the beats just bum, bum, bum.
It's got a storm. Everyone sings along. It was great, but we've changed it up recently for,
Tell the young
for our
audience,
own sanity.
and tell the young audience what album, what artist is that, and what album?
Oh,
it's
that's
off of?
Elton John.
Yes.
Which
I
album
forget
it's
which
off?
record
Yeah,
that's
I can't remember this.
It's Goodbye Yellow Road, yeah. I mean, that's amazing.
Because he had like 20 albums in the first like 10 years of his career, didn't he? It's like, it's insane. Yeah, I've actually
he's got a
recently
wealth.
delved back and I was like, whoa, there's so many.
He actually played our song Nighttime on his radio show. He's got like a Beats One
That's
radio
incredible.
show or something, and he said that he was introduced to it by someone that worked at a record store in London, and I've actually heard from friends that also work in record stores in London that he comes in and apparently he's got this really big knowledge of like hip hop and modern music and stuff, which, you know, I always think of a lot of those older guys as being kind of like grouchy and out of touch. You know, you hear about like David Crosby like ranting about how rap's just people speaking over other people's music or some ignorant statement like that. And, you know, apparently Elton John's like the opposite of that. He just loves it and he's super
It's
engaged.
cool, very cool.
I mean, I guess he's been making music for so long. He obviously has to have, right? I mean, still
I
having interest in
agree.
music.
I think how could
Yeah.
you not keep discovering new stuff?
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, some people seem to be cool to be stuck in their late 20s.
Yeah, totally.
You know?
Yeah.
Since this show is, we like to think of it as an educational show and new music, but let's go. I'm sure you've seen the film School of Rock with Jack Black.
Oh,
Of course,
So-
of course. Not the musical though. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, they're
Is,
doing a
is there a musical about that too?
There's a musical.
In London there is, yeah,
Oh, nice.
on the West End, yeah. Not
Nice.
seen it.
With the Jack Black looking guy on the poster.
Of course,
Yeah,
of
it's
course,
quite-
of course.
It's quite funny.
But what record would you send your class home with? And it doesn't have to be, they don't have to learn how to play it. It's more of a cultural statement than
I think for me it'd probably be Magical Mystery Tour by the Beatles, because I know that the Beatles are a very obvious choice, and you know that's something that I think all music fans should really acquaint themselves with. The Magical Mystery Tour, I think, is one of the more overlooked ends of what they do, and it also kind of shows you, you know, after the massive triumph of Sgt. Pepper's and then the massive triumph of the White Album as well. It's kind of sandwiched in between those two, and it's just them indulging a lot of their weirder, more eccentric tastes, and I think that that's a really cool thing. You know, the mixture of like the greatest pop songwriters of all time, like doing some stuff that they just feel like doing, and it's a little bit odd. And there's an instrumental track on the album, and I just, yeah, it's awesome. And I think that's good education.
I'm going to go Scott 3 by Scott Walker, my favorite album.
That's an intense choice for Send Some Children Home.
Yeah, I like it.
Just want to freak some kids out. Yeah, but it's a pop album too, you know. Even though it's dissonant and weird, it's still I don't know. It's got a good mood in it. Something for everyone.
And I mean, but the Walker brothers were like they were like huge right?
Yeah, well, in the UK, not in America, right?
Not here.
They're in America.
Weirdly, yeah.
Yeah, and that last EP album they did, where all of them have the different tracks, like the first 4, the Scott Walker ones, are obviously incredible as well, and yeah.
The documentary was quite. Did you watch the documentary?
Yeah,
It's quite fascinating.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
He was like the avant-garde. What would you call him? Like I was gonna say Brian Wilson. Brian Wilson's avant-garde too. I guess.
But
he's
like
feeding meat, like hitting a piece of meat to get that sound.
And the tilt, or no, it was the drift or whatever, which one it was.
Oh, right.
I'm hoping to one day see him around London with his cap down and just kind of walking around, but not yet. He's still like apparently
saunters about.
Apparently, yeah. People run into him on the train and kind of talk to him, and he kind of gives them one-word answers. So yeah, he's still around.
Well, I mean, he's still putting out records because he put out a record. When was the last one? A couple of years ago.
Bish Bosh. No, he did the Bish Bosh, then he did the one with Sun.
Bish Bosh.
Oh yeah,
he did the Drone album with Sun, which is cool, but really full on.
Scott Walker, an education in Scott Walker, which is, you know, he's one of those guys that had a huge impact on musicians, but he never really. I mean, except for the Walker brothers, right? Yeah. He never really made it to the...
Again, though, it's an interesting case study of, like, going from starting out as, like, a pop thing into, like, I guess, like, just indulging that eccentricity and going, you know, pushing the boundaries of it and going...
Strange and dark, but still with a pop sentimentality, I think.
Going where he just feels like it, and, you know, I think that's always so inspiring, I think, to other artists when you see people do that.
Let's do a bit of a political album. I mean, we live in everyone's angsty and nervous, and you know the world is in a strange time right now. What's a good album to, like, you know, bring some semblance of peace to the world? Or, I mean, it wouldn't get through the Donald Trump, but
well, I mean, I just reckon our album, because it's non-political, because it's an escape from the politics of the world right now. That's me. I'm going to pick my album.
I mean, I'm going to go with, like, I reckon. For me, it's probably Combat Rock by The Clash. I love The Clash, and I love the fact that that's their moment of, like, stepping into being, like, stadium rock big. You know, like, that's them really breaking through into being a mainstream band, and yet they're just so unapologetic about the way that they were and the way that they saw the world. I think that's really cool.
Which is not a political album like yours, right?
Yeah.
And tell us a bit about your album.
It's non-political. It's an escape from reality. So that's a good thing, I think, in these times.
Well, it came out. We released it at the start of March on Domino Records. You can get it. I mean, Domino have like a web store that you can buy it from. It'll be in most record stores. It's on streaming services and all that. So yeah, check it out.
Got lots of videos for it too. So
yeah.
You've got some videos out.
Yep. Oh yeah.
What's the latest single off the record?
Prawn Song, I think, was the latest song we released. Yeah.
Yeah, with a video.
There's a video for that.
There's a video for that. Yep.
I think that we've ended up doing videos for, like, when including, like, kind of brief visualizer videos. I think we've ended up doing, like, more than half the record.
Yeah, it's quite a lot.
Yeah.
We're running out of singles.
That's when you have a guy in the band that does video stuff, you know? You end up just getting carried away, and we just do it. If it feels good, we do it, and that's what we do.
We like to always ask our guests for some words of wisdom or advice. If you can leave our
words of wisdom or
audience.
Advice.
You'll fail 100 times before you succeed.
That's a good one.
So be prepared for that.
Yeah, put the effort in, and find something you love and just put all your effort into it.
Yeah. Words of wisdom. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Everybody wants to be famous. Nobody's ashamed. Everybody wants you to know the name.
Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe.
And if you're really feeling it, please hit us up on Patreon. Cheers.